So, good evening. How are you? My name is Tony Washira. Okay, let me take it from the government side. My name is Anthony Paul Wanjohi Washira. That's what the government calls me. I introduced myself to the gentleman there that they had interesting names. There was Mogidi. So I'm not one to be outdone. I have a Maasai name. My grandparents, Wajohi. Paul was my cousin. So I actually have a Maasai name, and when I'm outdone by a person like Mogidi, I pull out my Maasai card. My Maasai name is Wushu, which I discovered last year. My mother kept that hidden from me all this time. I am delighted to be speaking with you, and I don't have a lot of time, but I would love to introduce my family. They will not stand. They are not like me. They don't like being in front of people. I love being in front of people. My family is seated right there. My wife, please wave. That's my wife, the prettiest girl in the room. And then the one next to her is our daughter. Yes, they brought me. Thank you, Lulu. They brought me. But I am the sanguine. I'm the yellow guy, so all eyes on me. I want your attention. Don't give it to them. Sawa sawa. So I was invited to speak this day, and I consider it an absolute honor and pleasure, hearing that there are people who have known Justa for 40 years, 20 years, 38 years. So I consider it a great honor that she actually invited me to come and speak. So I'll briefly just tell you what I do. I do work with Justa and with David and with Lucy, but I also run a business called The Influential, and we help people find what I call their X factor. And your X factor, according to me, is your strengths blended with your passions, blended with your core values. And you use your X factor to navigate your seasons of life and to create impact, to create change, a legacy. And one of the reasons I was invited here today is actually to talk about that X factor and how it relates to this wonderful woman that we are celebrating today. And when I was asked which book I was reading, again, not to be outdone, somebody said Psalms and Job, and I said 2nd Chronicles, which is true. That's what I'm reading. But outside of the Bible, I'm reading that book over there. Exceptional. So I've read bits of it. I know most of this story. And I cheated, because I was not supposed to finish it before getting the real copy. I went to the end to see how it ends. If you have not started that book, you'll enjoy it. Great. So let me get to the subject of my conversation today with you. And I want to talk about that X factor. And your X factor is your unfair advantage. It is your value differentiator. It is found in your design. It is found in your experiences and in the connection of your strengths, passions, and core values. And Mami, the subject of Justa's book, found her X factor. And when she found her X factor, she made a dent in the universe. You want to make a dent in the universe. I borrow that from a phrase that was said by Steve Jobs once to somebody. He said, "Come and work at Apple, and we will make a dent in the universe." Don't just pass through. Make a dent in the universe, like Mami did. So as I begin, I want to invite you to take a deep breath. Hi, let's take a deep collective breath. Let's go. Good stuff. I want you to remember a woman who changed your life, and not because she was perfect, but because she was present. Not by doing it all, but by doing what mattered over and over again. I want you to think about a woman like that. For me, it was my mother. I owe so much to my mother, including my faith in God, because she modeled faith. I also owe my faith-fueled grit. I'm very gritty. People who know me, like my wife, know that I'm very gritty. I learned that from my mother. She exemplifies that even today. If she were here, she would be grateful to hear that. But I'm not here to talk about me or my mother. I'm here to honor and to celebrate a story that is not just written in ink, but in courage, in faith, and in sacrifice, and also in fierce love. I often like to say that your life is like a book, and that the seasons of life are like the chapters. And I'm so delighted that today we're actually looking at someone's life through chapters of a book. So we are gathered to launch a book, but even more powerfully, to launch a legacy. The story of exceptional Mami. I really like the way Justa calls her Mami. I am Kikuyu, and we also say the same thing. An ordinary woman with extraordinary resilience. And this story is a mirror that reflects the untold power of our African mothers. Proverbs 31 says that she's clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. If she were here, that would be her. But even now, that is her. That is Mami. Her strength did not come from circumstances. It came from conviction. When her husband died and the world went quiet, she turned to the only voice that she knew never fails, God's voice. She did not have advanced degrees. She did not hold a high-ranking position. She had no wealth to her name. But what she had was vision, valor, and vows that she never broke, especially to her children. When her husband passed away, she was thrust into a storm that no one saw coming. 8 children, limited resources, and endless responsibility. And still, she chose grit over grief, faith over fear, resilience over resignation. She rose like so many African women do, without applause, without ease, and yet with so much grace. When I coach leaders and professionals, I often ask them this question: what is your X factor? It's not your resume. It's not your popularity. It's not even your talent. Your X factor is your mission. It is your purpose in motion, your divine assignment. It is a fire in your belly when life gives you ashes. It's the thing you show up for, even when no one sees you. Mami found hers. Her X factor was unshakable love for her children. Her calling was to raise these children, to educate them, to protect their future, to trust in God no matter what. Her tool, grit. Her fuel, faith. Her reward, 8 educated, empowered human beings. And now, this tribute, that book. Let me remind us. Exceptional Mami is not just one woman. She represents many. And in Kenya, there's one woman named Mama Grace Onyango. She's the first Kenyan woman to serve as a mayor, a member of parliament, and a speaker. They called her daughter of the bush, not because she was wild, but because she came from the bush. She came from the unseen places. She was marginalized. She walked into parliament as a mother, as a widow, as a woman of principle. Like Mami, she didn't have privilege. She didn't have the trappings of power, but she had purpose. She fought not for applause, but for the next generation. That is the heart of a mother. That is the power of faith-fueled grit. In Nigeria, we have Mama Janet Ekundayo. I had to practice that one, by the way. She never bore a child of her own, but she raised 500 orphans, often called the Mother Teresa of Africa. When asked how she did it, she replied, because each time God brought a child to my door, I knew it was Him asking me to say yes. These are not fairy tales. These are not headlines. These are everyday African women, ordinary, yet exceptional in the deepest sense. In a world obsessed with fame, filters and follow us. Stories like Mami's bring us back to reality, to the truth. Finding your X factor isn't about perfection. It's not about being seen. It's all about being faithful to the call that whispers in your soul when the world goes silent. Mami did not let poverty stop her. She didn't let loss swallow her. She didn't let fear lead her. She lived her life like a prayer. Long, steady, and answered in the lives of her children. I have a question for you. What will your legacy be? To the sons and daughters of Mami in this room, you are your mother's legacy. You are her testimony. You are her harvest. To the mothers in this room, may you never underestimate the eternal power of your presence, your prayers, your quiet sacrifices, and your everyday faithfulness. To the rest of us, you don't need a crisis to find your X factor. You only need a cause greater than your comfort. You only need to say yes to your story, your purpose, your next right step. Wangari Maathai said, "The little things citizens do can make a difference. That is what will make a difference. My little thing is planting trees." End of quote. I have another question for you. What is your little thing? Mami didn't leave behind land or riches. She left behind something far more powerful. The belief that education is worth fighting for. The understanding that love is action. The conviction that one woman can shift an entire generation. And the example of faith in action. She didn't just raise 8 children. She raised 8 legacies. And today, this book we are launching is her 9th child, her story, her spirit, her resilience immortalized. So I ask you, as we honor exceptional Mami today, what is your X factor? What will your life write in the hearts of others? What story will they tell about you long after you're gone? Because in the end, we all leave behind 2 things. What we built and who we became. May this book remind us that you don't have to be extraordinary to start, but with heart, grit, and faith, the ordinary can become extraordinary. Just like Mami. Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you very much. It was a bit awkward. I didn't know what to do after that. Thank you so much. I will invite Justa to come here. Let's appreciate Justa like she invited us here. Yes. Keep it coming, keep it going. So we're going to put on a show for you, and I think we have only one mic, so that's the one we're going to use. We had 2? Okay. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to ask Justa a few questions about the book, and I'll throw a twist to it. If you have a question, I will allow you to also ask. Now, I have a cheat code. I have read most of the book. I couldn't wait for it's a really good book, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not telling them what's in it. I'm just telling them it's hard to drop it when you start. So does anybody have a question before I get mine? So I have a few questions for Justa. There's someone. All right. Who is it?
Rather, for some of us who have manuscripts in our wardrobes or wherever they are, just wanted to know how you actually got to the point of this being an idea to it being an actual book. Just part of that journey.
Thank you, Gurimu. Can I go ahead and answer? Okay. So for me, it started not just as a story. It was a burden that I had in my heart. When I lost Mami a bit too early in 2007, I was very frustrated. I had big dreams, big plans to spoil her after all the work she had done, and then suddenly she was gone. So there was a burden in my heart. What could I do? What can I do? Because this is not ordinary. And I carried that burden with me, and I started writing. So about 2015, I started writing, and I put them in the wardrobe as well. But then, over time, I still had that lingering feeling at the back of my mind that I have unfinished business. I really need to, because what she did, I can't do. I don't think many people can do that. It needs to be shared to encourage somebody. And so one day I decided, this is it, I have just to write it. So that determination, I started, I looked for my dusty manuscripts where they were, and I started putting in the hours. A lot of hours, I can tell you. And then along the way, I got my editor, Faith, are you here? My editor has been very helpful, so she helped me now put this into a story, and that's how we have Exceptional today. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much. All right, I will dig into mine. So Justa, for the record, that book is very moving, so I'll ask her some deep questions. Justa, if you were to meet your mom today, what would you tell her?
Oh, that's a tough one. If I were to meet her, I don't even know what I would say to start with. I would just give her the biggest hug in the world. That's what I would do. Because she left when I didn't have a family. I was still young. And now I know what it takes to raise a family. So I would just not stop hugging her over and over. And I would just say, thank you, thank you, thank you. There's nothing more I can say other than thank you. Yes.
I almost said, I don't know how it goes. Ladies, can you help me there?
Aww.
I almost said that one. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Let's go one more time. Kuna vile haifiki pale inafaa kufika lakini asante. Thank you for the good attempt. All right, so just, were there any stories that you struggled to include or that you chose to leave out in the memoir?
Yes. When I started writing now, and it started forming a kind of a story and a flow, at times it was very hard for me to even move from chapter to chapter because of the emotions that were coming with it. It was afresh. So every time I would start, I would get stuck on a story or on a scene and stay there and be unable to move. But with time, as I continued getting familiar with it, reading, it got easier. There is a particular scene which I struggled to include. Whether I was wondering, is it okay, is it not? And it's a scene which happened when I was 15. And during that school holiday, when I went home, I found 2 of my siblings were sick and my mother. they were lying on a mat and no one could help them. They were just there, so helpless. And one of my sisters who was sick got worse, and I had to take her to the general hospital. I was 15, remember. And then I'm still taking care of the two who are at home, and I have this one who has been admitted. And then what happened is that she got worse. I found her the following day, or so sick and couldn't move, like she was almost like gone case. So that really traumatized me, and I wasn't sure whether I want to mention that or not, but in the end I said, it might encourage someone, let me just put it there. And by doing it, it actually healed my trauma from that age. So there are a few other scenes, but that was the most profound one that I really struggled to include in the book.
Thank you very much. I did have a chat with Justa, and I love that bit that she tells us it healed her trauma. I was going to ask a question around that, but it has already come out. But I have a follow-up one around that, Justa. How did writing the memoir change your perspective of your past experiences?
Thank you for that. That's a deep question. I would say everything in the book has changed my view of my past. We grew up in a very difficult situation. All of us. It was challenging. Most times it was very challenging. And I used to ask myself, why? Many times I had those questions. Why? Why did my father go so early? Why did he go? I don't even remember his face. I was only 4. Why? Why should we suffer like this? He was someone who had his hopes, his businesses, and then he died and everything just crashed. So we were in really deep trouble. So over the years, I had this feeling of, God, this is unfair. Other people have both parents, other people have a better life. Why do we have to go through this? But then through writing, I actually came to appreciate it as a shaping. I've appreciated those situations as something that God really wanted me to learn so that I can share with the world today, with everyone seated here, anyone who will ever take those pages of Exceptional, everyone watching online, to remember that no experience is wasted. I love that. And I got it from Susan Kiamba, by the way. No experience is wasted. So that experience that we went through as the siblings has shaped us and the way we view the world. So reliving it through writing the book gave me a different perspective. And it's a beautiful perspective. I came to terms with everything, and I am a happy soul.
Wow. Let's give her a round of appreciation as we continue. I think, yeah. All right, I have a few more. Where is David? David, you can signal me when I should be. Okay, thank you. Good, I have one more then. So, how did you navigate telling difficult and painful truths?
Through tears. I used to cry a lot when I was writing that book. And sometimes, because I used to write mostly at night, sometimes I would have a sleepless night thereafter, reliving the pain, reliving the experience over and over. But shedding those tears and letting those emotions be was a very good therapy for me. And Nancy can attest to that, that's psychology. This was very good therapy, just letting things be. And it was mostly this last part of Mom's departure, her situation with cancer. She's suffering from cancer. And then I was all involved throughout the whole process. You read in the book, you see the whole process of the medications. I didn't even have a job. Every penny was going to buy palliatives. And I didn't realize I was actually traumatized by all that. I did not. Because when she passed on and I was with her that day that she passed on, I went into denial. And when I went into denial, it means then I put on this facade of I am okay. And everything continued very, okay until later when I was diagnosed with depression. And this took for almost a year, almost a whole year. So reliving this has helped me now. Whenever I think about it or I read it, I don't feel like it's a burden or it's really sad, it's bad. I can now look at it with an open heart and say it's part of the experiences that we go through in life. So please make sure you read Exceptional. you get to know more about what I'm saying. Yes.
As a person, as a human male with that chromosome, that book moved me. I had to hide when I needed to cry. But Nione Kando, it's a very good book. She had to stop me from finishing the manuscript to wait for the real book. But like I said, I cheated. I went to the back to see some of the nice stories. And I even read some tributes from your siblings. So it's an amazing book. From a guy who's not finished it yet, I recommend it. And also, it's so well written. There are no typos. And the real book itself looks really nice for those of us who care about how the book looks. Yeah, it's an amazing book.
Thank you.
Is there a question from the Upandewa class? I've been given a bit more time. Upandewa class, iko swali. To Justa.
How we do is by raising of hands.
Thank you, David. There's one here.
Thank you, Justa, for sharing your experience. My question is, give us a picture of who your mom was, because we would be interested just to get to know who she was as a person. But more so, how did all that shape your extraordinary resilience and from living with your mom and the challenges and who you are as a person, and how can it help us as mothers, as young people, in shaping us to be resilient, because the current world demands that we be very resilient. How can most of us develop that skill, or how can you make it better?
Thank you, Inros.
I was just going to say before you speak, all those who want pictures, we will be passing around passport photos of mommy. Anyway, sorry, just kidding.
Thank you. Thank you, Inros. I wish my sister Esther was here, because she's a replica of Mami. From height, Mami was shorter than me, by the way. Way shorter than me. Quite more petite, really petite. And she had this burst of energy. For those who know me, they know that side of me. Some burst of energy. I should be, running around, doing things. But she also had a really good sense of humor when she was in high spirits. And she would make us laugh and she would dance with us. But man, she had a fiery temper. She had a fiery temper. You see, like when you light newspaper, it just burns, and then it will come down. That was her temper. She'll be so upset one moment, and the next moment she's laughing all out. Someone with a really big heart. But what stood out for anyone who knew Mami, from the villagers or anyone who interacted with her, was her super generosity. Mami used to feed strangers. As long as you pass by Mami's house, you got to have something, including one madman from the market. He knew lunchtime he would be at home, and he would eat, dance his way out, and go. He was really, really generous. She was very, very generous. But also, Mami was this kind of person who really believed in education. That was her chorus. You got to do well. You got to get an education. You got to live a better life than me. Trust you me, we were never chased away from school because of school fees, regardless of all the troubles. We never failed to go to school because we don't have books. We never failed to go to school because we don't have food. She made sure we had everything that is needed for school. And it's because she had this vision that her children will have to live a better life, and the only thing that can assure that is an education, which she really believed in. She herself didn't have an education per se. She was a class 7 dropout. Yet one of her brothers was a surgeon, a doctor. Yes, the brothers were really learned, but the girls, her firstborn sister had never stepped to school, an inch. So the girls were, those days, girls were really not prioritized for school. So she had this vision and belief that my children have to be better than me. They have to live better lives. And she did everything possible, legally and morally possible, to get to that. Mami is a kind of person who will go to school and say, Mwalimu, I don't have school fees, but I can do some work at the school shamba. Can you tell me how much this will be? And that will go to the school fees. She didn't feel any shame to do that. So one thing that really shaped my resilience from hers is actually the idea of holding your head high. It doesn't matter. It's not a shame. As long as you're not doing something immoral or illegal, there is no shame in accepting the way things are and going down, folding your sleeves and doing what needs to be done. There's no shame in that. And also, Mami's resilience came from the idea of not relying on others. She didn't believe in relying on other people. We had some relatives who were, well off, kind of, but she did not even once go to beg for something or ask for something. She would say, can you work hard? Work hard. As long as God has given you hands and feet and you can think and you have strength, work hard. It will come. And that's exactly what she did. So her resilience came out in so many ways. And me, as well as my siblings, not just me alone, there's just something peculiar about, the way we see life. We don't believe in giving up. Those who know me know that. I don't believe in giving up on something. When you start, run with it. Run with it. It will be uncomfortable, yes, but in the end, the sacrifice is worth it. That is what Mami left in us. My siblings, sometimes, as you know, life can go up and down. No one has ever, sat down and said, no, there's nothing I can do. I don't have a job, or I don't have this. We will do what it takes. Personally, I have sold herbs, like mboga. I've sold mboga. Mboga, the greens, yes. I didn't have a job. But I can't just sit back in the house and say, all right, maybe one day. No way. I have feet. I would pick my bags and go to the market, get the greens, and I'll go and distribute without any shame, because she instilled that in us, which is beautiful. How I wish each and every one of us would have that resilience, that there's nothing impossible if I want to do it. And I would really wish for those who have children to also teach our children to do that. Not to just sit and wait for help from, all around. To just start it, do something. I can say so much about our resilience. I hope I've answered your question. Yes, thank you.
Testing 1, 2, good stuff. So one last thing as we are concluding, what is the significance of the title?
Just maybe before you answer that one, just a quick announcement. So KDB 765X, you may need to hurry to your maroon Harrier before it becomes marooned. Please attend to your vehicle. And owner of KDA 142F, a gray Paso. It is headed to El Paso. You may want to run and check on your vehicle. Yeah.
Thank you, David. So, Mami is many things. And I know her spirit. And I know her spirit, is hearing wherever she is. Mami was many things. So many things. I didn't know how to describe her. If you ask my editor, Faith, we had tons of titles, and we kept looking which one. And then we said, yeah, exceptional. Because it includes it's our resilience, our hard work, our generosity, our everything. We didn't know how to put it. We can only say this woman was exceptional because what she did alone, achieved alone, which I can't do, was just exceptional. And by the way, for those who are reading the book, there's also a significance in the picture, the cover page. So the cover page, the flower, the tree, is representing Mami with one bud. So that's her, which did not bloom fully because she went too early. And then if you look closely, there are 8 smaller buds. That's us, Mami's children. And then you see it's on a cracked ground. And we purposely chose a cracked ground to show that there was rain before. When Daddy was there, life was super. But then Daddy left, the rain dried, and the earth cracked. But Mami chose to sprout and took us with her. Thank you.
Let's give a better round, like we're inspired. I'm inspired. Thank you so much, Justa. Before I hand over to David, I just want you to turn to your neighbor and ask them this question. What contribution are you yet to make? Ask your neighbor that question. Thank you. So why I asked you to ask them that question is because that's a question that I really like to ask people when we are talking about finding your mission. And Mami found her mission. Nothing sums it better than that drawing and the way we've been told that despite the past, despite her experiences, she chose to bud. When you know the contribution that you want to make, then you have a mission because you know the contribution that you want to make. I want to, because I won't get another chance to stand, I want to invite you to buy that book because it will show you how somebody knew the contribution that they wanted to make. They wanted to raise those 8 little buds. And they dedicated their entire life to doing that. She did everything that she needed to do. And if she were here, I think she would be smiling. I think she would be okay saying, I did well. Yes. Let's appreciate Justa one more time.
One of the things that I've always remembered about old movies is that boy with an old cap and some old clothes on the corner of the street saying, extra, extra, read all about it. So there's books enough for everyone. Now, one of the things that I'm faulted for or known for is not taking too much time to get something sold. If you want a book, please raise your hand. We will bring the book to you so that you can start paying for it. So, ushers, please, just note the hands, please. If you want a book, we want to bring them to you right now so that all we will be waiting for is the payment to reflect. All right, the books are coming around, so just so that you make sure you get the book. Let's see, so that, because things happen. You could be called and you need to run before you get the book. Do not leave here without the book. And you can pay for it with one note. One note, if you're paying in cash and you have cash in your pocket, you can pay with one note. It's 1,000 bob. You can also send money on M-Pesa, and there's a pay bill or till number going around. So if you need the book, there's 2 books needed over here, right over here. Right over here. The books needed over here. Ushers, please help me. So the reason I'm doing this is because I wedded my amazing wife in 2008. Somebody forgot the envelopes. Can you imagine? They forgot the what? The envelopes. Okay, so there's a lady here. There's a lady over there, right behind you. Yeah, behind you over there. Make sure you know who you've given the books, so that you get payment. There's 2 needed over here. 3. Aha. So 1 for someone, 1 for another, and 1 as a gift for someone else. All right? For those who are carrying the books, please make sure you know where you've left a book so that you get paid for it. All right? Somebody forgot. Just remember, somebody forgot the envelopes. We go to school and we learn how to read and write. And then we decide at a certain time in our life to leave something that will impact lives beyond us. And so we write a book in its raw form. Then after the first draft, we are told it's important to send it to an editor. And then you send it to an editor, and they send it back to you with red marks and edits of things you need to change. Sometimes having truncated half your book, telling you some of that stuff you're saying is absolute nonsense. Any authors in the house that agree with me? And I just want to invite one of these amazing people that make sure that the work we are getting out is actually an amazing piece of work. And this is the person who has made sure that this amazing piece of work by Justa comes out, and it is not only readable, but absolutely a blessing to us. Ladies and gentlemen, to give us the editor's remarks, let us welcome Faith Gatimi. Faith, are you in the house? There you are.
Thank you. I made some notes. I'm a writer, so I ended up writing because... Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Aren't you exceptional? Absolutely. Justa, we are so proud of you. Let me say, the thing about writing a story is about the legacy. We get to know Mami today from the book, not just as who read the book, but can you imagine her great, 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 great grandchildren? And I think we say Africans, one of the things that we messed us in remembering our history is because we told it by mouth, and then it kept changing, and then things changed. We stopped telling stories, and we even forget our histories, just the living memories. But this is a book that when we are all gone, will still be there, read, and we get to see this woman in a beautiful way. And I just made a few notes from interacting with Justa and Mami, because I got to know her through that story. One is the power of a book or the power of a memoir. As I've said, it's a legacy, and specifically for this one, remember, she was not alive to tell a story herself. And a memoir is really a personal story of something specific. And for Justa and the family, the people who knew Mami, chose to tell specific characters about her that makes it her memoir. It came, you'd think like you're actually having a conversation with her. I remember the first time Justa mentioned that she kept talking about her mother. We shared our stories about, I've known her before the book in a different world, and she kept saying, I need to tell my mother's story. And she'll tell me that because she knows I'm a ghostwriter. And I tell her, you need to tell that story, because she keeps telling about her. So when she said, I'm ready to tell the story, and we sat and discussed the structure of the story, she said maybe after the first session, she felt, is there more to tell? And I said, what you've just done is just half, like half a chapter. It's half a chapter, because she would say, oh, Mommy did this, she was like this. But then I tell her, remember the very first, something very specific on this specific day, some of the things she's talking about. And it would, you'd find, as we talked about that, sorry, I don't know why I didn't remove the lock, it keeps locking. One thing, Justa was shocked how much it takes to tell a story. When she says there was crying, we were both crying at some point. because she has to dig deeper. Tell me about that day. How was it like? What did you feel? Sometimes she kept saying, this is like therapy. And I'm like, you're telling, it has to be very authentic. And when she got into the flow of it, now she would really go deep and tell. And we both laugh. There are times we laughed. We analyzed Mami. We're like, do you think this was going on? What do you think? And all that. It's really a lot of, it takes a lot of emotional resources to tell such a deep, powerful story. It also takes a lot of, time, because you're telling someone's, not autobiography, but a memoir about specific characters of who she was. And one of the things about that legacy is then it's a demonstration of what kind of mother and that she raised, because they took resilience from Justa herself. And she'd say, I thought I told that. I said, no, you were supposed to go further, do a bit research, talk to other people, and then tell it in more details. So it took a lot of resilience to, and we could see then she left a legacy in her daughter. That comes out, the commitment from Justa to tell that powerful story, and everything that it took, including resources. It's not also cheap to pay editors and designers and everything. And that was a resilience and a commitment. And just to summarize my remarks from editing the book, ghostwriting with Justa kind of, in many ways, also gave me a lot of discipline. Because as editors, if you're not careful about typos and things like that, if you know Justa personally, she's very particular. If she says something starts at 6, it will start at 5:50. If she says, she will read, and I appreciate that bit, because I've done books before with other people who they are saying, I've told everything, why do we need to tell more? Or I've already done a review of that, but she was very particular. She would sleep crazy hours. I'll wake up and find she texts me, responded to this. So I want to appreciate that a bit of teaching us some of these values that she got from her mother, because then you find, even when you read, trust me, it will change you. It will change you. So please take a book, gift someone exceptional. The lessons in there, of course, editorial team is not just me. We also had it's not just exceptional women. We also had male editors. And some of the comments they made was, this, like one of them said, this inspiration, it gives you something different for every chapter. Whether you're a man or a woman, they're kind of exceptional. It makes you think, how exceptional, or how do I become exceptional in what I'm doing? So thank you, Justa, for sharing your mother's story through this memoir. Asante sana.
Thank you, Faith. Before you run off, let's appreciate her, please. Before you run off, I would like to help some of my brothers and sisters in the room who the only ghosts they know are Ghostbusters, the ghost of Christmas gone, and some the Holy Ghost. So maybe what are these ghost writers all about? Just explain to us, because there may be authors in the room, and knowing what a ghost writer is, not a ghostbuster, ghost writer may help them write sooner.
Okay, so everybody is an author. You own your story. And we say a story is like, at least for women we understand, when I say a story is like a pregnancy or a baby, something comes and you need to tell, that baby has to be born. You'll find she will end up writing more stories, because we have many stories within us. So all of us are authors of our story. But not everybody is a writer. If I ask you to write just about today, give me 2,000 words describing your day today, you will get 150 words, and then people will be stranded.
As it were, my quota is almost finished. I'll give you 50.
So ghostwriting, we are writers. We help you now tell the story, the story that's within you. You're the author of your story. There's a whole process of now helping bring out that story into a book, in whichever way you want to tell it. So we are called ghostwriters because we are writers, but we rarely appear in the book at all. Yes.
Amazing. So now you know. So all those stories that you're sitting on, and you tell them in overnight events to a few people, you can tell them to many more people and impact them by engaging a ghostwriter. Let's appreciate her one more time. Awesome. As we begin to conclude our time today, and before there is no more room, already this meeting moved from one room to this one, because as the confirmations were coming in, we realized the people were going to be more than the room we had initially picked. And so we needed to increase our faith and move here. And already our faith is about to be exceeded. So before that happens, we want to finish the meeting. Anyway, I want to invite back this amazing author. She's a friend of mine. And I met Justa when I walked into Lantern. I met Lucy in a meeting. We are still trying to figure out who it was that introduced us. And I met her in a meeting and we had some amazing conversations. And then I met Justa. And like Lucy calls her, at a certain point, the power behind Lantern, because she anchored Lucy and anchored us as a team, as a people, and brought order almost single-handedly to the office. What Justa used to do by herself supporting Lucy is now being done by by 3-4 people. And at a certain point, we were even more than that. And there are even people in the room who have who wore those shoes after you. And so you're a great person and you're doing amazing things. Miss Exceptional, we celebrate you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, David. Thank you. If you're wondering who Lucy is the one with a different color from most of us. And her husband. I worked with her in the consulting field before I went to Doctors Without Borders, where I am now. So before I unveil officially Exceptional, I know some of you have started reading. Before we do that, I would like to introduce some very special people in my life and in this story. So I would like to invite my siblings who are in the room. Please come. Thank you. Thank you. It's interesting when we are introducing ourselves in events, we introduce ourselves starting from the eldest and saying the number that we are until the youngest. By the way, we are like 2 years apart. So you can imagine how horrible that was for Mommy. Our eldest was 14 when Daddy died, and the youngest was 1 month. So I would like to introduce the ones who are able to come today. We have others watching online, and they will just say their names and say hello.
God is good, and all the time. My name is Elizabeth Njiro. I'm number 2 in the family.
Praise God. Praise God again. I'm Judy. I'm the 7th born in the family.
Hi everyone. My name is Peter Mugwanja and Jello is Zang, my sister-in-laws. Kwa majina yangu naitwa Peter Mugwanja. Niko hapa kuwakilisha sister yake. Mimi nimeoa kwao.
Good evening, guys. I'm Jacob Njiru. I'm the last born.
Hi, guys. I'm Eunice. We are the last born.
She's my wife.
Thank you, and he is Esther's husband. Number 4. Number 4? Yes, number 4. Thank you very much. And before I say my number, thank you, Maggie. Today is a very, very special day for me, super special for me, because I'm talking about a very dear person in my life. A person who left the legacy that we are celebrating today, a person who contributed a lot to what I am today, and that is Mami. Her name was Jane. And my last born is Jane. She's Gianna, which is a version of Jane. And I'm also very, very happy today because I've waited for this moment to share with all of you this exceptional story of an exceptional woman. You can read the story there. And for those who are here, for those who are watching online, I'm truly humbled to celebrate this moment with each one of you. You mean a lot to me, all of you, one way or another. I know I have some relatives watching from abroad, some friends watching from US, and I appreciate all of you for joining us in this moment. As we unveil the book, I would like to challenge all of us to think about our lives as books. What would you like your children to write about you when you're not here? What would you like someone to write about you when you're not here? Mommy didn't give up. Neither should any one of us give up, no matter what, because things will always change. Thank you very much to everybody and to anyone who will hold that book and read and gift it and share the story. So now, with that, I would like to unveil the book Exceptional, and we will do it in an different way. I want us to do it through a dance. So those who are very comfortable, make sure we are somewhere where we can dance a bit. We are connecting so that we can have the story. But as I do that, I really wish you God's blessings, even as you continue living your legacy and thinking about your legacy, all of us. Are we almost there? Okay, not yet. Something is not working well. Let me also appreciate some special ladies who have really, really been very instrumental in making this day a success. Grace, I appreciate you. Julia is my friend of almost 30 years. We became friends when I was 14. We were in the same school, and we still are. And some new friends I acquired miraculously. Pendo, where are you? Pendo, there is Pendo. And her sister, Sita. Where are you, Sita? Yes, and Sita, her sister. These beautiful ladies have made this, what you're seeing now, to be what it is. And Esther, why would I forget Esther? Yes, Esther, there we are, our investigator, Esther. Thank you very much. We spent hours and hours planning, and now here we are. I would like us to be upstanding and join in the dance to unveil Exceptional. Display.
Check that your neighbor is dancing. Volume. Hey.
Tumeona mkono wake Bwana.
I need some people who are dancers. She's your friend and she called you here because you can dance. Come. Woo! Come, her family, you can come and join her in dancing. Come on, celebrate. Friends, good friends, come. Okay. It's a celebration. It's a celebration of an amazing book. Okay, here we go. Hey. Exceptional. Celebrating an exceptional woman. An exceptional mom. Hey. You can join us. As we celebrate with our friend, our colleague, a special one. Hey. Mkono wake Bwana. Because, Lord, you've done amazing things. Feel free. You can join. Just go fetch this one. Just go and fetch people. Make them join here. Come on. Just pull them into the... There you go. Follow. Hey. Exceptional people, exceptional moms. We celebrate you. Hey. Hey. Join. Yes. Amwende mkichukua wengine. Follow. Let's go get it. Collect. Hey. We accept celebrating exceptional people. If you're in this place, you're an exceptional person to Justa. Oh, she values your friendship and she wants to celebrate this with you. That is why you're here. Thank you so much for making the time. Thank you for being here. Hey, exceptional is who you are. Hey, tumeona. DJ Yongoma yezi isha kabla tuja dance. Kila mtu. Aha, there we go. Iko karibu sawa. Hey. Oh, we are celebrating an amazing woman who gave us this amazing friend of ours, this amazing colleague, full of life, full of energy. Mommy, we celebrate you for giving us Jerry. Hey. Thank you, Mommy, for giving us this amazing woman. She's a great wife, she's a great mother, she's a great friend, a great sister. Hey, mkono wako baba. Umetutoa. Hey. Chini. Hey. There we go. Come on, let's celebrate. Oh, it is so awesome, so wonderful. We're so thankful to God for His goodness. Just some words as we...
Thank you. Are we still streaming? So for the online team, thank you very much for joining us and watching. We appreciate you. The book is available. You can get it on Nuria, or you can request on the number that has been shared on social media, on WhatsApp. But we are working to have it available as an ebook in Amazon for those who don't want physical books. So thank you very much. We will end the stream now as we do the last part for the ones in person. Thank you.
Thank you for our online crew. Let's appreciate them.